Hi, this is Jeff Kurto, and welcome to episode number 168 of Camera Position, the podcast about the creative side of photography. So we talk a lot about the frame in photography. The frame is the thing that we sort of depend upon. And in fact, we talked a little while ago about the frame as a discipline. And the frame has four things that are pretty important. Four things that are the edges of the frame. The edges of the frame. And in fact, whenever I start teaching a group of students, whether it's students in my Italy photo workshops or students that I've taught at the college level, one of the very first assignments that I give, if not the very first assignment, is to give them the assignment of the edges of the frame. And in fact, I usually just sort of let it slide. I usually just sort of say, go photograph edges, and hoping that that will kind of give them the idea that it might be the edges of the frame, it might be the edges of objects, it might be the edges of things in the subject matter. It might be edgy subject matter. It might be something that has an edge. The edge of the world, the edge of a moment, the edge of the frame. Edges is a really interesting assignment, not only for helping you see the frame and see what it is that you put inside the frame, because of course, we are, as photographers, editors. We're not creators, we're editors. We're removing all the stuff that doesn't matter and leaving behind only the things that do matter inside the frame. So the edges of the frame simply become the most important part of how we define our subject, how we see what it is that we want, what we leave in, and just as importantly, what we leave out as we edit the subject that we're photographing. So I want you to think about, the next time you go photographing, I want you to think about the edges of the frame. And if you're so inclined, I'll link to this both in the Camera Position blog and also in the PDF that accompanies the app. There is an older podcast, another episode of Camera Position, where I talked about something that is a kind of an ugly object, just a simple piece of cardboard that one can use as a frame. And in fact, my Italy workshop photographers have dubbed this the Kurtometer. Actually, Marty did this. Marty was the guy who dubbed this the Kurtometer. I'm pretty flattered by that because it wasn't really me who came up with this. In fact, the very first one that I had was given to me by Ansel Adams way back in the 1980s. And it is an amazingly useful object, a piece of cardboard that can stand in for the picture frame and can help you define those edges of the frame. So that's the assignment I'm going to give my Camera Position podcast listeners, should you choose to accept it, is to photograph the edges. Photograph the edges and put those images up on Flickr in the Camera Position group where I am now actually present. Sorry about that for not being terribly present for such a long time. But on Flickr, in the Facebook Camera Position group, on your own website or blog, and link to it on the Facebook page, or leave a comment on the blog, or send me an email with that content. I would love to see your edges. Photograph edges. Thanks for being here, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Camera Position, the podcast about the creative side of photography.